let's get into some bullshit. So, I thought I was going to be done with part 2, but then I realized I had enough content to make a part 3. Hence the reason this is the final Dear Aubrey's Angels, but it's a trilogy. Oh, 3 of them things. What they say, 3 of them don't worry, y'all. This is fake blood. Don't worry, this is fake blood. Watch out, relax. Relax, hold on. Let me get the packet. Y'all see that? Fake blood. Hold on, wait. Let me turn the fake blood, y'all. It's okay. Nobody's harmed besides the OVHOEs, because, you know, they bleed. Different sides to Drake stands, aka the Aubrey Angels, aka the OVHOEs. It's the TikTok side and it's the Twitter side. Today we gonna discuss the TikTok, and these dudes, they a little bit relentless. But when we get to the Twitter side, if y'all get it to 500 likes till we get to the Twitter side, we got some shit we need to address, gang. So now, the first couple videos is coming from a social media dude who goes by the name of Faith Moolah on TikTok. I'm gonna put the screenshot somewhere up here so y'all can follow his page so y'all can find the videos yourself. But yet, another Aubrey Angel doesn't want to believe he lost. So we just gonna see what he talking about and see what we get.
Yo, brace yourself, brace yourself, brace yourself. We in the K-Dot era. That same era where Kendrick dropped like 3 or 4 features that did nothing for the artist he dropped those features for.
Well, that's a false statement. Let's just start off with the Playboi Carti. Playboi Carti features are some of the most top streamed songs on the I Am Music album, which is the second most bought hip hop album with over 1 million copies sold. So you can't sit there and say that that is a lie. And then let's get into the Clips one, because that's the one that interests me the most. So for those who don't know, Clips was signed to Def Jam. While they were thinking about getting the rollout and having a release date for the album kept getting pushed back because of one person. Who was that one person? The greatest rapper of all time, Kendrick Lamar. Yeah, this was in the middle of the lawsuit going on between Drake and Universal Music Group. The reason they didn't want to let this Clips album come out is because of a Kendrick Lamar verse. Yes, Kendrick Lamar verse had that much power to stop a whole entire album rollout. But this is where it gets crazy here. Clips manager, right, pretty much told them, UMG, you know, Def Jam called them, was pretty much like, yo, you can't have that Kendrick verse on there. They thinking, why not? Recent lawsuit going on, all of what's going on in the history, like in hip hop right now, it's a little too controversial, too many politics being played. What it sounded like to me, Drake didn't like the fact that the 2 people who whooped his ass was spinning that block once again. But then the obvious song comes out to be Chains and Whips. Has nothing to do with Drake whatsoever. It's just Kendrick doing what he do best. But that single verse got them out of a deal where they signed a distribution deal and let God Sold on Mouth sold over 100,000 copies. And on top of that, it's being considered for one of the best hip hop albums in the last 5 years. And it's also a Grammy nominated project. So for you to sit there and be like those features did nothing for the artist is a huge lie. The Kendrick stimulus is still active and strong. Let's watch the rest of the clip.
Right? And hasn't dropped any new music. And 9 times out of 10, he's probably going to give his fans a bum-ass deluxe album. A bum-ass deluxe album. But we in the K-Dot era now. We in the K-Dot era now. It's lit.
Now let's just stop it right there. Let's just say, but it's not because hip-hop isn't thriving. It's because Billboard keeps setting up reoccurring. So the recent reoccurring rule was if a song falls that's been on the chart for quite some time and it falls below a certain number, it automatically gets kicked off the chart. That way new music charts. So yes, even though I don't like Drake, a lot of his songs would still be on the chart if the reoccurring rules didn't exist. Same thing for Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar literally has the longest running hip hop song in history with Not Like Us, and it only got kicked off the Billboard Hot 100 because Morgan Wallen dropped his album and it fell below a certain number. Same thing with Luther. Luther was still within the top 50 of the Billboard Hot 100, but literally fell off because it came below a threshold when Taylor Swift released her new album. So to be fair, and to be fair to Drake, a lot of Drake songs charted this year as well, and they are now currently no longer on the Billboard Hot 100. So if you're gonna sit there and talk shit evenly. That's all I'm saying.
Imagine you as a record label, right? Have the biggest artist in the world signed to you, right? In Drake, y'all don't know what I'm talking about. You have the biggest artist signed to your label, and he's due for a contract renewal, right? And he's been consistent for years. He brings in millions and millions of dollars. Most popular artist out there, right? Other than Taylor Swift. And like I said, he's due for a contract renewal, and you as a record label don't want to pay him more than, you know, what you've given him before. And you've fumbled that artist out to prove to another bum-ass artist that will never reach the level and the status that artist in Drake, right? Because you didn't want to pay Drake more than $400 million. Cause they knew for a fact that once that contract renewal was gonna come, Drake was gonna ask for almost maybe close to $1 billion. And they wasn't with that.
That's not what happened. What happened was, we don't even know if Drake recouped the money. But let's just play the hypothetical of if he did. Why would I not want to re-sign the artist who brings me in a shit ton of money to not only UMG but to Republic Records? Now I want y'all to go Google Republic Records roster. They have all the heavy hitters that you know, okay? Drake, yes, brings in a lot of money to UMG because he's distributed under OVO Sound under. But why would I not want to give him more money so he can start bringing us in more money? What happened was, you took a battle in the middle of your renegotiation. Didn't even make sure the paperwork was signed, sealed, and delivered. Then you decide to battle. You lose the battle, and you been getting your ass whooped over the internet and public perception over the damn near going on 2 years. To the people who want to pay you the money, your stock is dropped. So I'm gonna just put it in basketball terms. Say for instance, I'm due for a supermax. A supermax is some of the most money that you can get if you're an NBA player, right? So let's just say I'm going into my final year. Let's just say I got us to the, playoffs. Got you to the Western Conference Finals or the Eastern Conference Finals, and we lost, but I put up hella numbers. I'm dropping like 35, 10, and 10 consistently, right? So now I'm up for the supermax. Now let's just say my supermax is around $200-300 million and about 250, 260, whatever is guaranteed. And I fuck my ACL up doing dumb shit. So now not only do I not get my supermax, my stock has dropped because I might not be the same player I was then that I am now. What Drake did was, he literally took a fight in the middle of his negotiation. Again, nobody told him to do it. UMG didn't tell him to do it. He willingly chose to do it. And as a consequence of that, he lost the battle. That's it. Your worth then is not what it is now. Why would I advance you the money if your worth isn't what it's worth right now? That don't make sense. That's like me giving you a shit ton of money after you just lost me money. That means I'm not gonna make a profit off of you as of right now.
So how, like I said, from a business standpoint, right? You know that this man could recuperate that money, right? You know that this man is consistent. You know that this man's music doesn't fall. You know that this man's status basically does not fall. Everybody loves this man, right? Except the K-Box, except the Drake haters. Everybody loves this man. Sells out tours, merchandise, has produced TV shows, all this, right? And you go ahead with the guy who's not consistent, with the guy who's dropped an album, last year, right? Last year. It's almost the end of this year, and he might give his fans a deluxe album. A deluxe album. A GNX deluxe album. That's all he's gonna offer his fans. Almost a year later. I thank God that Drake is on his last album. Once that Iceman shit give up, it is what it is, bro. It is what it is. They gonna be tight when...
Okay, let's just get this out the way. Yes, everything you said about Drake was true. He does have a lot of avenues to make money. He might not be recouping that money the way y'all think. Y'all think music-wise he's recouping that money? It could be possible depending on the splits. So I'm not gonna sit here and act like he ain't recouped the money. Let's just say in this instance, he didn't recoup the money. Why would I not re-sign you for a bigger deal if you're having a harder time recouping? But if the label, what we think labels do allegedly, I'm just gonna give you more money and more money and more money, knowing you're not gonna be able to recoup that money back. And again, we don't know if Drake recouped his money back. All we know is that Drake's Iceman is supposedly his last album under UMG or whatever deal he got, and then he can shop around other music. Then for you to sit there and be like Kendrick Lamar is inconsistent when literally he's been the most consistent he have within the past 5 years, that don't make sense whatsoever. Literally dropped the album. It's literally still the highest selling hip hop album in 2025. This album came out November 2024. Yet, and he still has one of the longest reigns on the Billboard Hot 100. It was 81 weeks. That was the most for any active rapper. And then if he drops a deluxe, all that's gonna do is boost the original GNX album sales more. So I don't understand you Drake fans. It's like y'all really praying on Iceman to be great. Say this album is ass. Then what's the excuse? Oh, he gave UMG an ass album to get out of his deal to get a newer deal. Okay, cool. But if you think a lot of these labels are gonna give him the same amount of money he was asking for UMG, and he was getting nowhere near close to $1 billion. At the most, he's probably gonna get 600 million. No way they was gonna give that man $1 billion, because there is no way he will be able to recoup that money back in time. But then it reminds me of a Kanye lyric where he said, "You gave up so much for your masters, getting Lucian's your daddy," somewhere along those lines. You gave up your masters for a little bit of money. Drake's masters is worth a lot of money, and from CLB and onward, he does own that. But then again, the catalog that made people love Drake, and I do mean the world, that catalog UMG owns. And if you think Drake is going to walk away without having that part of his catalog, you out your mind. Yes, you can say this decade's catalog is pretty solid, but it ain't the Take Cares, the Nothing Was the Same, the Views, the More Life. Like, majority of his smash hits are under the catalog that UMG owns. And UMG is not going to give his catalog up. And if he do, they're only going to give him a piece, and then in return, they're going to probably give him more money. So even if he gets more money from the record deal, he's probably going to have to sacrifice his catalog. So y'all putting Drake in a lose-lose situation. And to be honest, if I have any dude that looks like Pac-Man defending me... Okay, next up is Late Night Librarian. Now, I'm pretty sure you've seen a couple of his TikToks. I don't engage with this guy whatsoever. He literally just delves in conspiracy theories that he himself cannot prove under no pretext or circumstances whatsoever.
Someone on the internet referred to Drake's lawsuit as celebrating a buck breaking.
Yep.
The user wrote, "Black people really celebrating a corporate giant reminding a racial slur that he's still a racial slur.
Absolutely.
Youths don't stand on nothing."
And she was right.
Someone responded and said, "Lamau, that's not what's happening. Black people are celebrating a racial slur, acting like an insensitive word, being prevented from doing some stuff that may have messed up the genre legally going forward." And the response was, "Let's be very clear. You're celebrating a butt break."
Exactly.
Come on, y'all. Drake lost the battle, lost the lawsuit. He's just taking an L, as the news reporter said.
Drake wasn't done taking the battle from the booth to the courtroom.
This is so lame. Why even show this?
Another L.
This is not a butt breaking. Let's just pump the brakes.
You're intelligent enough to get the context and to get the analogy.
In fact,
relax.
What butt breaking really is.
Yeah, like you care.
Let's have some deeper thoughts.
Drake winning the lawsuit would have been a win for hip hop. That was a win for hip hop. I'm so tired of hearing people across socials say that this was a win for hip hop. 99% of you haven't read a paragraph of the legal documents.
Well, that's not true. Shout out to my dog Yo EQ TV and HHSB crew. I watched all of their live streams where they literally broke down every part of Drake's lawsuit from every document, piece by piece. So I can't speak for everybody, but I can speak for myself.
No, we can debate that, but that's essentially what he's trying to do. This has absolutely nothing to do with him trying to limit free speech.
What?
You all sound stupid. You all sound stupid.
What did he say?
Is that what y'all thought was going to happen? If Drake won the lawsuit, then in effect, rappers would not be able to rap about the same things? Seriously? Like, you're giving yourselves away when y'all say stuff. This is more evidence that you have not read a single page of the legal doc, right? Of the legal filing. Please stop saying hip hop won.
Actually, hip hop did win. Hip hop won. It did. How the fuck are you gonna get mad about defamation of character, then defame somebody's character in a battle that you willingly participated in? I keep saying it till I'm blue in the face. Hip hop won. You should be able to say some shit as long as it borders a certain line, okay? Once a certain line gets crossed, all lines are invisible at that point. When you cross a line, you can't get mad if somebody crosses that line right back.
And again, I didn't get to put this in the original video, so I'm putting it in there now. When Late Night Librarian says you thought Drake was going to limit free speech about what was being said in rap, that's not what we're saying. What we're saying is when it comes to diss battles, and just diss records in particular, he would have altered the way diss records will have to go out. Because what if you had a diss record and it was fire, but then you got to get it approved by the label, then get it approved by the lawyers. Now you can't put the shit out, even if the shit that's being said in there goes within the fine line of free speech. That's what we're saying. We understand he's not permanently changing rap music as a whole. What we're saying is you can't police and officiate how what is said in battle rap goes. That's all that was saying. I don't think I put it in the original part of the video, hence the reason I'm putting it in here now. I just wanted to make sure that, you know, I put that part in the video, that he was just going to police the way diss records is made, particularly against him, because, you know, Drake's a hoe. Now, back to the video.
All Drake's lawsuit, had he won, would have done was to make it less likely that a record label would use, you know, deceptive means as leverage every time one of their artists was coming up on the end of their record deal, and that artist, you know, was looking at shopping around to other labels or looking for another deal or trying to renegotiate their deal, right? And because of this stupidity that you all are cheering for, right, that you all are celebrating, labels will continue to do this garbage with impunity.
So let me get this straight. Somehow the label is to blame for Drake getting in a rap battle, losing the rap battle, then get mad. Drake and Kendrick only work for the same parent company, but they work in two different buildings. One building is Interscope, the other one is Republic. So why are we blaming UMG for pushing a defamatory record when Drake also had defamatory records? Make it make sense to me. And again, no one told you to take this battle. You chose to take it knowing you were in the middle of a renegotiation. If you were smart, like Kendrick was, you would have waited until you had your business together and your deal was signed. That's just common fucking sense. Like, I'm trying to understand, like, why is that so hard for Drake fans to understand? I wouldn't have gave no disses out until my contract was set in stone, signed, sealed, delivered. That's what Kendrick did. So y'all mad at Kendrick Lamar for really handling his business like Drake should have done but didn't? Hip Hop won, Drake's a bitch. Simple as that.
I believe that there was a fundamental lack of understanding by the court about the battle in and of itself and about hip hop culture as a whole.
So you think that the judge was incapable of understanding what was said in the rap battle? Considering the fact that she's the one that ethered Drake that caused the dismissal, I'm pretty sure she understands hip hop well long enough. And she called Not Like Us the metaphorical killing blow. I think she pretty much understands what hip hop really is.
Right? And I'm going to prove it here. Okay?
Hey y'all, come look at this.
The court never acknowledged that the song Like That was the start of the battle.
Your foundation is weak as fuck. J. Cole said they argue who is the hardest MC. Is it K. Dot, is it Aubrey or me? Kendrick Lamar's name was already mentioned in the league, but I'm starting to feel like Muhammad Ali. So Cole says he's the GOAT, right? Then we get towards the end of the song. Drake said, yeah, but I think I'm the GOAT. I'm one away from Michael, nigga, beat it. Again, Kendrick was mentioned first. All Kendrick did on Like That was respond to his name being mentioned in the song. And we all know what happened from there. His name was mentioned and he responded. And can somebody tell me when First Person Shooter was released? Y'all went crazy on that last Dear Aubrey Angels. Over 1,000, like 11,000 views. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. Shit gets spooky every day in October.